Hello.
We're back!
We're back!
Hey, hope you guys stuck around because we're going to go straight into Super Sentai Kamen Rider Zi-O.
Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Zi-O.
Zi-O.
Thank you for joining us on
Henshin Hangout.
Henshin Hangout.
I wish all three of us were here, though.
It always feels a little mildly emptier when Johnny's not here.
There's a little gap.
But
we can't replace...
We can't.
You can't do that.
No. Despite what somebody in the audience wants us to do.
So,
now.
For the show, we always start off with Lupat.
Yeah.
Because... Unlike us,
me,
you enjoy it. You enjoy it, but I like ending the show on a high note with like deep story. But actually, Lupat was good this week.
Thank you.
Lupat was good this week.
Really liked this episode of Lupat. Now, if you're here for Zi-O, we'll get to there. So stick around. Yeah. We'll talk about it. Don't worry. There's plenty to say about that first ep. But let's talk about Lupat. This was a pretty fun ep.
It was.
What did you like about this episode?
I like how the Pot Rangers don't trust Noel.
Thank you.
They don't. Immediately, they don't. I don't know if they've been talking amongst each other, but they really don't trust him. So they're kind of setting up secret missions without alerting him.
Yeah.
But Noel being Noel, like... He's a pretty smart guy. He can figure out how things are going.
Also, they're terrible at secret, apparently.
No, definitely.
Definitely. Even Hilltop, they're all like, yeah, we just...
how are you? We're not talking about anything secretive.
Keiichiro's going on a vacation. That's what he's doing, I swear.
It's like a extended summer vacation.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Cops don't take summer vacations.
Well, but Keiichiro just needed some time. And just Noel was like,
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's smart. Like, Noel's smarter than that.
Yeah.
And, I understand where both of them are coming from. Especially, like I said last week, Noel is leaning more towards the Lupin Rangers.
He absolutely is.
And it's he's not even, like, trying to keep that a secret.
Yeah.
He's just, it's so obvious that he's more on their side than he is for the Pot Rangers. So they have to, they'd have to definitely, like, keep him at arm's length.
And what's kind of great is that, like, Noel was like, listen, Kairi, Keiichiro's up to something. I can't do this.
Yes.
You can easily do this. So Kairi now has to play up this.
Whoa! You're going to this place too? Let's check out the hot springs.
That's so crazy. What are you doing here?
I think this is kind of like uncharacteristic because I don't think the two of them,
they don't talk as much as this.
They don't talk like that.
And that's kind of why it's sort of funny. Kairi's like overdoing it.
Yeah.
And Keiichiro has to hide his secret too, so he's like, because that's what I'm...
Come along. You're not Noel, but,
No, but, you shouldn't know what I'm here for. Dang it.
The only thing is, though, like, Keiichiro is supposed to be, like, this really good detective, this really good cop. He doesn't see through his ulterior motives.
I think, that's the thing, I feel like Keiichiro is not as good of a cop as Tsukasa.
Oh, you think so?
In terms of detective work, I feel like.
He didn't know that girl liked him.
No.
So he's not as intuitive as people think.
No, I think his heart's in the right place for being a cop. But I think the best cop is Tsukasa, because she's the only one. She was the first one to suspect them.
She is. She was the very first one.
Yeah, without any. I still want to point out. It's still one of my favorite moments in the show where she suspected them, not because of a slip up they did. They didn't do a big slip up. They were just being themselves, but she put two and two together and went, wait a minute, that's weird.
Yeah, Umika's here, Umika's there.
Yeah, but then, hold on, they're acting much like them. That's weird. I got a weird hunch. So, but Keiichiro's always, his heart's in the right place for being a cop.
Definitely.
And that's where he is at the show. So here they are. They have to, I think the episode's literally called Vacation for Two.
Yeah,
the two, yeah.
The two go on vacation.
Yeah, two on vacation.
2 on a trip, right there.
Yeah, the two are on a trip. And so, it's like this whole, they're both overdoing the vacation half of it.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, cool, let's get lunch.
Well,
cool, let's look around.
These are actually the episodes I enjoy where we have two separate members from respective teams kind of like forced to be together. I mean, we got that in the last episode we had with the blue and green, where they're both doing that whole yoga thing.
Yeah.
And then, of course, my favorite episode that I always say, the little scavenger hunt with Umika and
Tsukasa, yeah.
That's still my favorite episode. But this is getting close.
This is actually, you're right. These are where I feel like having the show be about two separate teams is effective, because they are two separate teams of two different missions
Yeah.
and two different styles that have, when you shove them together, that already creates a conflict no matter what you do.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why the show is still kind of interesting, at least for me, despite my own personal issues as well, that like 30-some episodes in, or almost 30 episodes, they still find ways to extend the conflict between the two, and that fills up 22 minutes and some action and some monsters and a giant robot.
To be honest, the monster little storyline here, it was like a second thought.
It really was.
Definitely a second thought.
It really was. Though I almost find it acts like very like appropriately 5-year-old humor.
Yeah.
Because of the monsters whole. But we'll get to that creature.
Yeah, we'll get to that. This was my favorite scene. The scene where they're both eating together. And
Yeah.
You know, like
it's a fun scene.
these two characters, like putting them together in a small room and having them like eat together. It's funny because he's such a straight edge guy, and Kairi is just like all over the place. So,
do we all? I think is the follow-up scene where there it is. It's the scene where there's this little girl in classic Toku fashion. If there's a girl with pigtails, they're probably in trouble. That's just
that's in the in the book.
That's in the book.
That's in the book. That's
like,
definitely in the book.
It's like monsters grow after you destroy them, giant robot, and if for some reason
they grow.
There's a little child. You want a little child endangerment. You make sure you put her in pigtails.
Yeah.
Either it's like she gets kidnapped, or just simply she's just upset about something.
Definitely.
And here
that's the case with this girl.
Yeah. Actually, that's a cute little scene too, because Keiichiro is trying to do the. Hi, look at me, I'm a helpful cop, but if we remember that episode before, he's kind of doesn't connect with kids.
Yeah.
He's kind of terrible at that.
It kind of reminded me a little bit of Terminator 2, when John Connor is talking to the Terminator and he's trying to get him to smile, and he's just like, like just a weird, creepy smile.
It's like, you shouldn't smile.
Yeah, because he's just so, Keiichiro is so, like, robotic to a point, you know. He's by the book, he doesn't really understand some social cues, which is a disservice to him because he doesn't. You know, it makes him not like likable.
Well, also look at this angle that he's like.
Are you by yourself?
Are you okay? I'm like, no. If I was her age, I'd be like, please get away from me. You're horrifying.
It's called bedside manner. You know, like doctors and nurses, they know how to. If you're talking to a kid, you have to kind of like get into their mindset.
Yeah.
Because from a kid's point of view, if an adult comes up to you asking you questions, then that either you're a bad guy or you're in this place of authority where a lot of kids don't like authority. So
yeah, no, exactly. But Kairi obviously is good with kids.
Yes.
So what's kind of cool about this little bit right now is that the girl's crying because like she lost kind of like one of her, I don't know what to call it, like kind of like a pigtail.
First world problems.
I know, right? But she's
a hair ribbon.
Yeah, a little hair ribbon thing.
Yeah.
So, what's interesting about this is that like. Keiichiro decides, like, hey, no, stay here. We'll get your parents, and I will find it.
Yep. You get her into a safe place
and
let him do his job as a cop.
Yeah. Now, what's kind of neat about this is while he's trying to, like, find it, like, he's trying to find it the way that, like a cop. Like, okay, or just, like, how he would just find it. Like, well, she left it somewhere.
Deductive skills.
So he looked everywhere.
Yeah.
Now, Kairi's approach was...
Kairi would be the approach that I approach.
I would agree. I would do the same thing.
I would definitely do the same thing. It's like I would definitely, if I knew where it is, I'd definitely just pay the money and buy it, and then just return it to her.
Right, and say, "Oh, look, I found it."
Yeah, I found it. You know.
And I think it says a lot about both characters.
Yes, definitely.
It says like, now that's not a cheat per se, because the girl wouldn't have known any better.
Yeah.
But it does show that like Keiichiro knows like, no, she wants that one. That was the one on her head. That was the one that she's upset about, and I know I have to find that because that's hers. Where Kairi's like hiding it and sort of lying, but it's not a bad lie. It's innocent.
I mean honestly, let's say Keiichiro didn't find it, right? And Kairi brought the brand new one to her, giving her the story that he found it.
Right.
The result is still the same. She's going to have that little hairpiece, and she's gonna be happy.
Right.
So either none of like. They're both good ways to do it.
Right.
It's just they're two different characters, and this is gonna be kind of the narrative for this show. Is like there has to be a leader.
Right.
Like there has to be, if it's Noel, if it's Kairi, if it's Keiichiro.
Right.
There has to be a leader. But now we're seeing that there's two ways of doing things, and I think that's the whole narrative of this show. There's two ways of getting to the same goal.
I kind of love and Layla, thank you. It is a beret, and
I'm so sorry.
I did not know because I don't use them.
Yep.
The hair's
I don't
getting
have
thinner.
any hair. Yeah.
It's just like what am I gonna?
No hair. Where are we gonna put the braids? It's just gonna look weird.
It's just gonna look weird, you know. But I think this scene says so much and is like such a metaphor for what happens at the end.
Yes, definitely.
Also, what's really great about the scene is like how much Kairi now has a bigger new conflict within him about Keiichiro. Is that he starts seeing a lot of what he starts seeing
all of his brother.
Yeah.
He starts seeing that he immediately compares him and Keiichiro.
Yeah.
Like, you're a better person. You're not like
Yeah.
ice cold like I am.
Mm-hmm.
You actually have a heart.
Yeah.
And he thinks that he's a bad person because he doesn't do things the way that his brother did or Keiichiro did.
Oh man, I gotta tell you, if I can, not to go too real about my own personal life.
I'm gonna tell a little story
Oh, you
too.
do?
Yeah,
All
definitely.
right, we can do that.
Yeah.
I have an older brother.
Okay.
Who's about a good 10 years older than me, and like, I honestly like saw I saw a lot of Kairi in this moment.
Yes.
Where there's this bit where he's talking about like, I got really stupidly jealous over this other girl that my brother was helping because I'm like, what are you doing? That's my brother.
Yeah. He's like, you don't want to share him.
Yeah, you don't want to share him. And I realized like there would be moments where I'm like, I remember when I was I was a kid and my brother would help out or talk to my other cousins and he would connect with them differently. And I'm like, but I'm your brother.
Yeah.
You know, like, why is... Like, so this moment got me like, oh, whoa.
It kind of hit a little close to home.
Moved so close to home and, like, in a good way. And then, Kairi's brother's like, no, and this is the thing, Kairi felt bad about feeling like this. I went, I'm the terrible kid, right? Because I didn't want to share you. And he's like, what are you talking about?
No, that's a normal thing.
Yeah, it's a normal thing.
It's a normal thing. And obviously we don't see that as kids.
No, of course.
We don't see that as kids. And... Like I never had a big brother growing up, but I did have a lot of like close personal friends that I grew up with, and I kind of felt for Kairi here because we're on the same path. We're pretty like me and my friends are on the same path. We're going our separate ways. We're all getting older. We're all doing these things. He graduates from college. He gets a good job. He finds his girlfriend. He marries his girlfriend to have a wife. He buys a house. He has kids. And I'm just thinking, man, we literally had the same opportunities. We had the same, everything's the same. But he's just doing so much better than me. I'm like, because I haven't reached these goals, am I a less of a person because, comparing to him? I feel like that's what he's doing with Keiichiro.
Oh, for sure.
Yes,
100%.
Like he's questioning his leadership. So it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see how he goes forward with it when he goes back to his team. How he's going to lead his team. Yeah. If he's going to feel worthy to lead his team and like fulfilling this quest that they have to do because there's so many lives on the line for this. And it's if they go with this story where he's going to doubt himself and. Yeah. There's going to be a void in that Lupinranger leader spot. I think that would be an interesting story.
I think that'd be great too. Yeah. Hey, and then don't forget, if you want us to read your comments, don't forget the super chat button.
Yeah, because especially now, like on Saturdays, the chat just goes so fast.
Yeah.
And
so like I'm trying to I didn't get a chance to even say hi to like everybody I see here. So like, hey, DDD Cosplay, Blackwing of course, Layla, Crab Stomp. I think Matthew Thompson.
There's a few new names in there.
Yeah, no, Steve Rogers.
Welcome to Henshin.
Hey,
it's great.
Thanks for jumping over.
Yeah.
Okay. While that's going on, there is a monster afoot.
Yeah, a monster that isn't doing anything.
Well,
which I mean,
that's the thing. Yeah.
Which is a little like the Patranger's concern is like. He's not really breaking any laws. Do we even intervene? There have been some good, monsters in the past. Maybe not in this show, but there have been some good monsters in the past that they got a pass.
Yeah, and so, but we've kind of find out that this monster, it makes a bit of a stink.
Yeah.
He makes a bit of a stink, literally. He's a poo.
Poo.
He makes smelly gas, and like he loves saying the word poo.
Yeah.
That's the monster this week.
Welcome to Japan.
Yeah. Like, he literally, like, just goes, like, poo.
Yeah.
Like, he just, like, that's his reaction to things. Like, going, like, ah, poo.
I feel like this whole storyline was definitely a second. It was an afterthought for the show. We have to have a Gangler, right?
Well, we need a Gangler and we need a monster, so...
It was like Jezzer's breath today when he was kept burping in our faces.
Oh,
sorry.
poo.
Red Bull, you did this to me. Poo.
Poo, Jezzer. Want to take a guess what's gonna happen? Poo.
It's a very straightforward story.
It's a very straightforward story. It's not
with this show, like when it gets to that, like there's a certain point on the show where it's like, okay, recycled stuff, recycled storyline.
Right. Smelly, poopy storyline.
Yeah. Do we know what the treasure piece was this week?
It's a flower, which I can't quite pinpoint what. Hey, again, tell me in the comments.
If you guys know, let us know.
What's the Sentai reference that
go.
belongs to? I do like the bit of business. I mean, at the end of the day, like there is something kind of funny about just people in Sentai costumes just like going, "Oh, what's that poo gas?"
Yeah.
No.
We have to pretend you guys pretend like you smell something. Pretend like you smell something. Okay.
Oh
it
God,
smells so
no.
bad. Acting skills for these stunt actors.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I liked how Noel tried to bring back Keiichiro from his mission because he was like, oh, this kind of taking too long. I want to figure out what's actually going. What are they doing? What are they doing? And his team, the Lupin, the Patrangers, they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
They don't want him to do that. He's like, no, we have a mission. We have something to do.
Now, to go back to Keiichiro and Kairi, they're one of the things I do have fun with the show is when the show borderlines on like cops and robbers movie tropes. And so here you have a scene with Keiichiro showing up and doing a deal.
Yeah, doing like a trade.
Yeah, like a good old fashioned like I brought the goods.
I have the money.
Yeah.
Give me what you have in the briefcase. Or like a ransom. It's not a ransom.
No, exactly. And I like every time when the show goes like borderlines on that stuff, but in a kid way.
Yeah.
I always have fun with that because I'm like, oh, you can do it. You're doing it, but you can't do it all the way because it's a kid's show.
Yeah.
This time though, Keiichiro is here. Obviously, he's not here for vacation. What he is here is that these guys have
a VR.
Yes.
A versus.
A versus collection piece.
Which looks very similar to ones that they already have.
Yeah, I know. It does.
Looks like the fire truck.
It looks just like the fire truck.
Come on, you guys. You could have. There's so many different vehicles you could have.
Oh, but this one shoots water.
Which also some fire trucks do.
I know.
But okay.
Well, whatever. Blackwing assumes that the collection piece might be from Dynaman.
Ooh.
Maybe. I'm not.
Dynaman that's the all-female team?
No. Dynaman is like they're like explosion team.
Oh, okay.
Literally dynamite. Man.
Oh, okay.
So this is one of the cool things about this sequence is it's a reminder that Keiichiro can handle himself in a job like this.
Yeah.
Like, he's actually pretty cool here. Like, he's, like, taking these guys down, no question.
And he's having fun with it, too.
Yeah.
He's having a lot of fun with it. His facial expressions are, it's like, man, this is nothing.
Yeah.
I could do this, in my step. I could do this with one hand behind my back.
Yeah, for 2 minutes, like, Keiichiro's in the raid, and he's totally good at this.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, yeah. Ah! And the guy's like, oh, okay, I'm sorry.
He's actually enjoying himself, which is it's fun to see.
But then, of course, that's why when Kairi shows up, it screws him over because
it's a factor that he's not taking into effect.
Yeah, and it's like Kairi's always just either as good or better than him at times, and that's what throws him out. But I like this stuff here to remind us that no, he's good at this.
Yeah, he can definitely do this. And then if they were on the same side, it would be nothing to worry about.
Absolutely. Or if there was no Lupinrangers for him to fight, he could.
Yeah, they could probably take down the Ganglers all they want.
But, exactly.
But
as we see here, Kairi takes the collection piece, and we get another pretty fun red on red fight.
Definitely, which is always great. Red on red fight is awesome because you just see two different leadership roles, two different fighting styles.
Yeah.
Like you get to see. They make use of their capes and they make use of their agility versus where with the Patrangers it's more like brute force fighting a little bit.
And that's what I definitely love about that.
Yeah.
Blackwing points out that hey, this is why I asked you guys. There's a straight up Dynaman logo on the flower, and I'm like, that's why I asked.
Perfect. Well,
Thank you.
That's why we have you guys.
That's a Dynaman reference. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Cool. Yeah, the fight's great, and what I like too is that the show doesn't overdo it.
No,
on the red on red.
Like
fights.
right when it's picking up, they time it out pretty well.
Yeah.
Especially like. Honestly, like I said, the other Rangers storyline is kind of an afterthought. I think they could have really just omitted having them show up in the show, saved a little money, like
save on the Pooga.
Yep, and dive into this. Yeah. You don't have to have a Gangler every single episode.
No, you'd be surprised.
You don't have to have a Zord fight every single episode.
Thank you.
Yeah, you don't. It's so methodical. They're just they have a story in the beginning, set it up. The story in the end, and then the footage at the very last 10 minutes is exactly like the previous or the next.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like that.
No, I 100% agree, and it's like it's this thing that that always like kind of derails me when I watch a Sentai show. It's like I love it, I love all this stuff, and then there's these things where it's like, oh, but we have to do these things every time.
But that's you're like conditioning kids to like. How they watch this show, you're conditioning them, and not letting them have like great character development or great storylines. You're conditioning them. Oh, there's a story. Here's the peak of the show, and then we have the Zord fight. It's getting too repetitive, and you're just like preparing these kids to just. I mean, pretty much, it's a toy commercial. It's definitely a toy commercial now.
Now, stuff has got escalated over with the fight with the Pooh gas monster. Yeah. And his Pooh gas has gotten so bad. I like saying Pooh gas. Sorry. Pooh. His Pooh gas has gotten so bad that he's starting to burn the city down.
Yeah.
And Kairi, of course, knows the Kairi currently has the Lupin collection that has the fire engine. So what's kind of cool in this moment is Keiichiro is like sitting there as a cop, a good cop who's doing his job the way he should be.
Yeah.
Assessing the situation and going, this is gonna suck, but this is the only answer I got. So he tells Kairi, there's a fire in the city. Your plane can get there faster than my car.
You have the versus what is it? What do you call it?
The fire engine versus collection, Lupin collection. Take it
and go save the city.
Go save the city.
That's huge.
Yeah,
that is huge. This is like it's like within this episode we have so many different setups for the whole season. This is Keiichiro taking his hands off the wheel, like taking his foot off the gas.
Yeah,
and he. Like we said, there's always two ways to do. He knows now there's two ways to do things, and the main goal is to get rid of these Ganglers.
Yeah.
So I think this is huge. This is definitely a big turning point for Keiichiro as a leader and as a protector of the citizens of Japan.
Yeah, agreed. And Kairi is shocked that he's like, you're really agreeing to that?
Yeah.
Like what do you like? He's actually upset with him for a second. He's like, what? Dude, seriously? And no, but
he's like, yeah. If you're gonna be a dick and take, if you're gonna be a dick and take something that I need to save the world, and you have the ability to do the same thing, just go. Yeah. If you're not gonna give it to me, just go and save the world.
But he's also seen that Lupin Red, because he knows it's Kairi.
Yeah.
He's also seen that Lupin Red does care about the safety of others.
Yes.
So he's like,
mutual respect. You
will do that, right? You're gonna do that because I know you can do the right thing. And Kairi's like,
yeah,
fine.
And especially Kairi in this state where he just pretty much confessed his backstory to Keiichiro.
Yeah.
So maybe this could be a turning point. Oh, super chat from Anthony Davis. Maybe we'll get more stuff with Zamigo soon. We have to.
We have to.
Definitely, if he's the source, or he's the one that put the Lupin Rangers family in danger, he's gonna be like a general he might actually lead the Ganglers. Who knows?
No, I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
Side bit, I kind of like when before the monster grew, that I kind of like with Gouache. I forgot how to pronounce her name, but she tries to go into the Pooh gas to make him grow, and then she's like, nope, and she just goes back into her portal, puts her arm out to just quickly make him go, and then quickly goes
little
back.
little things like that. Even though like I said, I didn't enjoy that part of the story. Little fun things like that. It makes it funny for the kids.
It's a nice twist on like what's usual, right? It's
Yeah,
like she always
definitely.
comes in looking regal, that weird sexy music plays,
Yeah.
and everyone's like, okay, she grows, and then the monster grows. Here it's like, okay, I've got it. Ooh, no.
Nope, never mind.
Bye.
Right there, cool.
So Kairi does go
Fight the Gangler, put out the fire.
put out the fire, stop the monster. He's a little distant,
Yeah,
you know?
like he's a little driven by trying to do the right thing now.
Yeah. It's actually kind of
Which I said, I feel like it's setting the Lupin Rangers up for a void in their leadership.
No, agreed.
Yeah.
I think that's a good angle to look at it. And then Noel comes in and goes like, "Oh, great! It's time for me to destroy the thing as well."
Let me just overpower this thing because he's nothing. It's like, why don't you do that in the first place? Get in that Zor and just squash him in the first place.
I don't
Save so much time.
I know.
Save so much
We
time.
always got a showboat.
Yeah, and then probably salvage some of these buildings.
Yeah, fair enough. So we wrap up this episode with basically, like Keiichiro is kind of Keiichiro's, Hilltop is not mad. He's like, oh no, you made the right call.
Yeah, you had to do what's best for the country.
Right. What's interesting to me is Kairi is sort of sulking in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, well, cool, you got the collection piece, and Kairi is kind of like,
Yeah, but at what cost?
at
Really?
what cost? And he's feeling guilty.
Yeah.
And it's like, especially the fact of like, why do you have to be so much like my brother? This sucks.
It's like he's reliving the pain of losing his brother all over again.
Yeah.
So I think, that's going to be very interesting to see the dynamic between Keiichiro and Kairi because there's two sides of the same coin, I think.
Yeah.
And I think that just him like sulking about something as simple as this just makes it seem like he's going to have a harder time going forward, especially when he sees the opportunity to save their family and complete their task.
Absolutely. And that to me is why, like, for me, it's like I'm being a lot more patient with the show because I feel like I see where those storylines can go.
But I swear, if the next episode is just stupid and I'm gonna be like, oh man, come on, you guys had the momentum. Don't stop now.
Yeah, I feel like the momentum is
it's too late. It's like, what is the 30th episode?
30th episode, yeah.
You gotta go. You gotta go full speed.
I do feel like the momentum's picking up, though.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I'm hoping we're going to... And I feel like this is a good, like, equal parts Kairi and Keiichiro episode.
Yeah,
I
and
really...
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It was
That's
like
how it should be more likely. More often.
it should be the perfect balance. If you don't have to add all these characters, like if you don't have to have a storyline for all these characters in one episode, don't.
Yeah.
Like have 22 episodes of just 2 characters, 3 characters at the most, and then I think you'll be fine. And I think that if this is the direction that the show is going to go in, I think the show will be bearable, or not bearable, but enjoyable.
I think
for
it'd
us.
be slightly better balanced than where the current stretch of the episodes we've been getting recently.
Yeah.
All right. Out of 7 Lupin Patrangers.
7. I would give it a 4.5.
4.5?
Yeah.
All right, like solid.
Solid episode.
I'll give it a 5.5.
Nice.
Lupat
Nice.
Rangers.
Like I said, if you just cut out the other storyline and just focus more on the initial one, I think it would have been a great episode.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that. Though.
Great episode.
I think the Gangler stuff is like, oh, we need a monster.
Yeah.
Like, all right. Okay. Ready? I'm doing this wrong.
Yeah,
All right. Now, we got the very first episode.
Kamen Rider Zi-O.
Not Zi-O.
You
Not
are.
that one. Before we jump in,
Okay.
like, this is your, like I said, like, this is now officially your second show.
Yes, this is my second show, and like we were talking about on the last show about not feeling obligated, not having to think that I have to absorb everything all at once because that's the reason for the show. That's the reason for a series. I'm gonna have to like take my time. If there's some things I don't like about the series, I just gotta wait and see how that plays out.
Right. So, going in, we have this incredibly
Great.
open, like this big old battle sequence at the beginning.
And then just statues.
Yeah.
Statues. And we have this ominous character. This guy that he looks like the main character on the promo art.
But he's like menacing and all dark, and there's this army chasing after him, and they got robots, and he's surrounded by statues of writers that we've seen from other shows. What going on? I don't know.
The character design, or what, like his color scheme and what he looks like. Maybe you guys can help me out over there. Who was one of the villains in Jungle Fury? Who was kind of like a panther. He had like the black and gold. What was his character's name? Jared. But what was his alter ego's name? That's what it kind of looked like to me. Like just the gold and the black, and I really liked it. I do like the suits. I do like how they had a bunch of statues of the past Kamen Riders, and how that's going to play into the story.
I understand that, you don't want to build statues, so CGI statues are
statues.
Kind of iffy, but...
It was pretty heavy CGI in this episode. Yeah. Huh? Black Lion, that's... okay. But that's what he looked like.
Now... as we're already seeing here, like we saw, like already I can see on screen we have XA, Drive, Wizard in the back. The other one had Gaim. Already blanked on the other one, and then and Build. Oh, Ghost was the other one. So this is a pretty big like let loose, like this is our show. Sequence, and then it pauses, and we see.
And we go back into present time.
More or less.
More or less present time.
And we see that it's a video clip, and I don't know who's recording that, but I'll let it go.
Yeah.
It's a video clip of a big battle, and it's a young man talking to a young woman in a spaceship.
This episode. If you were to go and just jump in and watch like random clips, you're gonna be totally thrown off. Like how it plays together.
Yeah, it's a lot of information they're dropping in on you.
Like really quickly too.
Yeah.
But one thing I do enjoy is the dynamic between the main character. What's the name?
The main character is called Sougo.
Sougo.
And we will good luck with that.
Yeah. Nope. We're gonna create some.
Till we learn the character.
Till we learn the characters' names. But I like the dynamic between him and his uncle that owns the clock shop.
He's fun. I like him. Yeah,
I think he's gonna be a great character for the main character to play on. Tokiwa Sougo.
Sougo. His first name is Sougo.
So he's a very ambitious young boy.
Well, he's a teenager, straight up a teenager. He's in high school, and
third year. Oh, third year.
And his dream is really weird.
Very weird. I want to be a king.
What the heck does that mean?
And like his friend already knows if he keeps talking like that, he's gonna get beat up.
Yeah.
So he's like telling you, you're gonna get beat up. And I think he even like throws he throws him over his shoulder.
He did like a judo throw over his.
Was that necessary? Just tell me. You don't have to do that.
Yeah, it's kind of a wild setup right now. Like he's just like we set up at least all the basic characters. We set up him. We set up his uncle, and
we set up the female character
who's from the future.
Yes.
And right now, like I feel like I'm trying my best to kind of figure out like this because like I said, it's so much going on. It's more than even Build to a certain degree.
It's more storyline that they throw at you than Build
the Build pilot. I feel like weirdly enough.
You think it was too much? Too much at once?
I feel like it's one of those cases where
Super chat!
Oh, we got a super chat!
This is my second after just finishing Deno.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. I didn't finish Deno yet, so I'm looking forward to doing that at some point. Thank you, Bat Ranger, for the super chat.
New name.
Yeah. Actually, I haven't seen him before. So yeah, it's a lot of new characters going on, a lot of new setups. Do you think the judo guy is gonna be a bigger or karate guy?
I think he's gonna be like a big brother character to our main character.
Do you think he'd be a writer?
I think he's definitely gonna be a writer.
Right?
Hands down, he's gonna be a writer.
He already knows martial arts.
He already knows martial arts. He has a strong connection to Kamen Rider Zi-O.
Yeah.
And I think he's definitely gonna be a writer.
Now, while Sugo's kind of walking around, he's being, and this is sort of hilarious, he's being like stalked.
Chased. It kind of reminded me of like Sam Witwicky and Barricade from the first Transformers movie.
Whoa! You're right.
Because he's on a bike, he's running from this robot, and I'll say this though, the CGI needs some work.
Mm-hmm.
It's too. It reminds me of like commercials in Asia. There's a lot of commercials like, oh, this is a commercial for your call. We're gonna have like this random CGI robot tell you that you'll be as strong as a robot.
It's really weird how not wrong. It's really weird how some of the CGI is both like, oh, that's not too bad, to yeah, that's kind of weak. Also, Sugo's also been confronted by this mysterious hooded dude who literally warned him, you should be wear the red robot, which is weird and cryptic in all the other ways.
So time out. Okay, let's break this down a little bit. Obviously, there's not just good or bad, but who's good? Who do you think is good? Who do you think is bad?
Well, okay, so right now that's sort of the general conflict of the show.
Yes, definitely.
Because what we find out is that
there's two separate entities that we want you to live up to your potential.
Yeah.
Or we want you it's kind of like the whole Terminator kill John Connor so
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Kill John Connor so it prevents something from happening.
Yeah, because
kill Miles Dyson prevents something from happening.
And that's what we're finding right now is that Sougo, that crazy powerful Kamen Rider is Sougo in the future.
Yes.
And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. That's really weird. Are you sure it's me?
Yeah.
Because, why do I become some crazy, powerful warlord in a armor thingy?
Yeah. Super chat, Anthony Davis. Her name is pronounced Tsukiyomi.
Thank you, Tsukiyomi.
Awesome.
Thank you for the super chat and for helping us.
Thank you.
I'm sure
Thank
by
you, Anthony
episode
Davis.
5 we'll get used to it.
Definitely.
We do get quite a bit.
I do like this scene.
We do get quite a bit of time travel already.
Yes, we do. Like maybe two different.
Two different time. Well, 3. We do get 3 different ones.
Okay, so we get. I like what Japan did. Automatically, people will say that dinosaurs in the Jurassic period. No, they are not. They are correct. It is the Cretaceous. Cretaceous period.
Well, the elephant sound that comes.
Oh yes. Yes. Okay. So in Japan, I guess a T-Rex sounds like an elephant that's angry. No, I did not see any elephants in that scene, but the T-Rex
that T-Rex
that was an elephant.
That was an elephant.
Was that? I don't. Come on.
It's like you couldn't even find a way to mix it differently to maybe add other sounds.
I mean, Jurassic World 2 just came out. Is that what the T-Rex sounded like?
I don't think so.
No, I think you guys were watching the wrong movie. Maybe they dubbed it wrong in Japan.
Just is it a rush? They're like, just put any sound in there.
Just put a sound. We don't. Do you have a T-Rex sound? No.
I would have been like, put an elephant and then layer with a lion, and then that would have sounded at least not like an elephant.
That was straight up an elephant. There's no way to disguise that T-Rex had a identity crisis.
You could have used a sound like a T-Rex sound from any of the dinosaurs from like Keiichiro. You had plenty of T-Rexes in Keiichiro. Whatever. Or Zyuranger. Yeah. But,
one scene that I did like is when they went to, I don't want to say feudal Japan. Is it feudal Japan?
Ancient Japan. Let's go with that.
Ancient Japan?
Samurai Japan.
Yeah, samurai. Well, the last samurai Japan, where she straight up didn't care that she was showing off some future technology. And when she was tipping the girl, she just had printed out it's like a little portable 3D printer that prints out currency.
I do like this bit with the Tsukuyomi.
We gotta keep that one highlighted.
I know, right?
Tsukiyomi.
I do like this bit where she does like the gangster voice. She's like, you guys give him a rest.
He's like she's kind of like pushing him to like take action a little bit. Another scene I liked is he's trying to stop this conflict between these two groups, but by doing that he brings them together because of a mutual hatred for some random person that's trying to like get in our mess, and they throw him into the river.
I do want to answer Blackwing here. Why does Toei always teleport their heroes to the Edo period of all the time? And the answer actually is pretty simple.
The set.
They have that set. That's their set.
That's a regular village you could probably visit by
That is owned by Toei.
Yeah.
That is why it's in everything they do. They own that studio and they own that set. So it's easy for them to go like, all right, I guess we do an Edo period thing.
If you watch a lot of like NBC or Universal TV shows, they do like pretty much use the lot for everything. For every single thing.
Yeah.
If you're gonna save money if you have the lot, make use of it.
Yeah.
Kids aren't gonna know.
No, unless you watch a lot of television like I did. Like I remember as a kid I recognized, that's the flood thing from Universal
Oh,
Studios.
yeah. Oh, big fat lion. That's the flood thing.
That's the flood thing. Oh, I recognize
so
that's
if-
Hill Valley from Back to the Future.
If you have access to it, use it.
Use it, yeah.
Especially with a series like this. I feel like they're gonna keep going back to Japan. I think they're gonna keep going back to Japan. I think they're just time traveling. I don't think they're like manipulating time and space.
No, they're not. They're not. But though I am kind of curious, is like I'm surprised that they decided to jump the gun and just episode 1 is Edo Japan, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you didn't want to wait on that?
Yeah,
Like,
you guys, you could have had the elephant T-Rex hybrid thing for a little bit longer.
But there is a third time travel bit.
There is.
And it's not long. It's not that long ago.
It's not that far off. Is it still technically time travel?
Well,
like traveling with what's the increment where he's like, oh, I time traveled.
Well, before they do that, we do actually meet Geist.
Yes.
This show's secondary writer.
So he is comparable to like Cross Z,
Yes, design-wise, I could see that a lot.
or he's the Cross Z of this series,
It seems like it.
or maybe he's the Rogue.
I feel more Grease.
He's more Grease.
Because I feel like he's got like he's right now the antagonist
Yes.
of the show.
And every character that we met has a potential to be a writer.
Yeah,
Definitely.
very true. He's another guy from the future, the same one as Tsukiyomi, and like he's doing his Kyle Reese thing. You know,
He's doing his calories. I have to fulfill the destiny of Zi-O, the Overlord.
So they do travel again, and it is now a year ago.
Exactly.
November. And it's a very familiar world. One that we just left.
Kamen Rider Bill.
Bill.
We get to see Sento and Banjo again.
And it's kind of cool that it's like almost where it's Sento and Banjo at their most Sento and Banjo-ist.
Yes.
You know?
I am Kamen Rider Bill. This is my assistant. He's like, assistant? What are you talking about? I love... That's my favorite Banjo suit, I think.
That's still my favorite suit,
Still my favorite suit.
I understand Magma is the most powerful one, but I'm like...
Yeah, but this is just so iconic.
It's so cool.
Yeah,
it's my favorite
so
suit.
cool.
But it's good to see them again. It's like when we talked about last week, it's like, we're not going to be that far apart from our boys.
Yes.
But it is interesting that it's definitely not after the events of their show. It is
in their prime of no problems. They don't have any big issues.
No real.
They have no idea what's going on.
Banjo didn't find out he's part alien.
Yeah, this is. They're just very innocent. They don't.
Yeah.
They have no idea what's to come in the future.
No, exactly. It's just fun to see them again in a show in this.
The lighthearted Banjo and Sento.
Yeah, I'm assuming Misora is like taking a big long nap. That's why she's not.
She's not there saying. They have no idea what's actually.
Yeah,
going
she already
on.
purified a bottle. And she's like, okay, great, I'm sleeping. Don't wake me. I'll kill you. That's what I'm assuming Misora's doing right now.
I like how they don't even really question what had just happened. That he kind of dropped out of time.
Yeah.
And they don't question. I was like, oh well, I'm gonna tell you who I am. We're gonna change and show you our real identities.
I do have one mild question though. Is that listen? I'll roll with this show a lot, but it's like time travel. Yes, alternate reality though. That's where this show takes place as well.
Yes.
Because this is a reality. The wall's still up.
Yeah, the wall is still up.
Mm-hmm. And as far as the end of build goes,
they changed it. So this is what I'm gonna be super excited about, especially since I still enjoy the Flash, and timelines is a very huge plot in there.
Well, yeah.
So that's like the staple of the show, and if that's gonna be the staple of this show, I'm gonna enjoy it. There's gonna be 2 rows, and then so they're able to. They're still on the timeline where the original story had happened.
Yeah.
So there is a possibility in this world that we get to see our Grease, our Rogue, those characters, not the ones that passed away.
Right. We'll see the ones that you remember them at best.
Yes.
Now there is actually another sinister figure going on.
Yes.
And this is a pretty good one.
This is just
pretty funny actually, where she shoots them down to kind of just knock everyone out of the room.
Yeah.
There is another reveal, and there is another villain introduced, and it's this kind of.
I like it's a human villain.
Yeah. No big. Excuse me, no big monster right now.
Yeah, it's just, but she kind of like her clothing and what she's wearing kind of resembles the hooded guys.
It's an interesting, exactly.
Like it's very close clothing, very close palette, like the color, the palette.
Yeah.
So are they working together?
Yeah, no, like this character, and I believe it might be a male character.
Is it a male?
It might be a male. The actor's male. So, but definitely playing it like softer and almost feminine.
Definitely.
It's interesting. He picks a guy who looks like he was about ready to die in a car crash.
Yep.
Pauses freezes time and goes like, either you die,
or you work for me.
And the guy's like, well, I mean, I want to live, so that's fine. Kind of random. I'll be honest with that. Like,
so this is their version of Ganglers. It's gonna be skewed past
evil.
Kamen Riders.
Yeah, evil Kamen Rider.
Evil.
I actually think that's a cool idea. And when I heard about that and I saw this is the evil Kamen Rider build, I kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool.
That looks pretty cool.
He's freaky and kind of disturbing looking.
Insect-like. Full insect-like.
He still does the bottles.
He does.
Which is sort of funny. But also, I guess his motivations, he's got like issues with athletes. So he's attacking athletes.
Well, because, I mean, we see him when we first meet the host. He's playing practicing basketball.
Right.
And he's not that good at it. Maybe he's kind of a little jealous of people that are.
See, this is kind of... going to what kind you said earlier about like being patient with a show and
I like the design of the monster.
Oh no, agreed. But this is kind of where I'm gonna start honestly telling you my feelings on this first episode right now.
Let's go.
I got problems with it.
Totally fine.
Okay, so I feel like right now the lead
is weak.
Thank you.
Very weak.
In comparison to Sento
was a strong actor, strong character.
I agree. Sougo is, I feel, kind of milquetoast. Yeah. His motivation is weak.
He's like mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Kind of just
like
bland.
Boring. But I guess that's the deal. Like, if you add other things to him, like other writer gets a little more interesting. But his motivation's so weird to me. It's like, oh, I want to be king. Why? Well, I want to make everyone happy, so this is the only way I can think of that'll make everyone happy. Where did you learn that?
I have no idea. It just doesn't make any sense.
And even his uncle is a little too blasé about his motivations. Like, there's a scene right here where he's telling his uncle, some lady told me, like, if I become king, I become a dark overlord and I take over the planet. So it's making me kind of conflicted about that choice. Huh? Well, that's fair. Huh? That's fair?
Does the uncle not care? He's just kind of like, I'm dead inside. I've been drinking all day.
I've been working on clocks,
and I have to I have to look over this little twerp who I could be doing so many different things with my life, but no. I'm working a clock store.
No, and
clocks are non-existent. Why am I here?
And my nephew apparently is a crazy kid.
He's on drugs. I don't care.
But no, I'm glad you agree. I'm glad before I even said it, you felt the same way.
Yeah, definitely. But again, going back to my initial statement, we have to kind of like just grind and just watch the show.
I agree.
And
it's episode 1.
It's episode 1.
Yeah.
But honestly, what if they came in with a different story, like doing this differently, where we're just like, I just want more. They could have went with that, right?
Right. No, I agree, and that's kind of why, like right now, like what you were saying with the guy who becomes this darker build, like the motivation. I'm sure the motivation would come in episode 2. This season's gonna be interesting too because we're back to 2-parters.
Yeah.
In Kamen Rider, there was a period where almost all Kamen Rider shows were 2-parters.
This is great.
So we're kind of back to 2-parters again.
So now, I start off Bill as a marathon. Here, I'm gonna be stuck watching it episode by episode.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You can't cheat. You can't cheat. You gotta reward the show.
I can't find out what's gonna happen right away.
And yeah, who knows? Like maybe this is just a bad first impression, and they'll build him in. I will say though, like for comparison,
what
I rewatched the first episode of Kamen Rider Decade.
Okay.
And there's a lot of similarities, which I'm sure are intentional.
Okay, well, you always say that there's a formula.
There's a formula.
There is a formula.
And the pilot begins, even in Kamen Rider Decade, the pilot begins with a big battle against an evil Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
That one is also about an impending doom about a Kamen Rider. That show is about an impending doom about an evil Kamen Rider, who our lead character is going to become.
All right.
And there's and there's dimension hopping, and there's traveling, and there's a funny uncle, and there and a secondary writer who.
How old is that series?
That show, decade. That is a 10-year show. That show's now 10 years ago.
So is there like? He's like, oh, that's 10 years ago. The kid's already grown up. They're not going to remember. Let's recycle this.
A little bit of that, and maybe even doing a sequel show. I theorize there's going to be there might be a big connection between this show and Decade. And I don't think everyone else will disagree on that thought process because of how much the shows have similarities.
Even though this episode of this new series was a little underwhelming.
Thank you. I will agree.
Some of the plot points that they're setting up are interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah. Especially like if you could do time travel right, you're gonna have a great show on your hands. If you guys can do that, go time traveling between Kamen Rider series, and kind of like how they did with the Kamen Rider build here. Yeah. I think there is hope for this show.
That's why I'm willing to be patient with it.
Yes.
You know, this is a show that's promising we will find a way to honor the last 20 years of Kamen Rider shows. And I'm seeing rumors of who they want to bring back and who they're begging to bring back. Yeah. And some of those I'm like, okay, that's exciting, and I hope you can pull it off. And then some of those I'm like, I don't know how you're going to pull that off at all. Good luck with that. And right now, the show for me is like, this is going to be a fascinating journey this is a journey I'll be excited to have with you and Johnny, because like, I'm a guy who's been like absorbing Kamen Rider shows the last 5 years.
Yes. And
trying to watch as much as I can. The shows that really get my attention, I'll finish, and the shows that I'm like, ooh, I'm good.
You kind of like figure out, oh, this is how it's gonna end. I don't really care.
Right. No, exactly. But this show is almost reliant on the idea that like I have a knowledge of the 20 years of the show. You and Johnny do not. So there will be shows that you guys won't like. I don't know what that show was about. I don't know what that show's deal is. So how well will they explain that show? How will they get you caught up without needing to watch all 25 or all 50 episodes of Kamen Rider 5s?
Definitely,
you know. We also get hey, listen, he's got a Henshin in episode 1, right? That's a guarantee.
You think it's too quick?
Yeah. Why do you feel that way? I agree with you though.
A little bit. There's no build up for it, and like he automatically knows how to work that thing. He knows like it's ingrained in his DNA just from watching a videotape of what he turns into, or seeing the statue of. It's like, oh, so I got to replicate the pose of that statue.
It also doesn't make any sense. Again, it's like he's been told by this woman from the future, and he's seen video footage. You will become a dark overlord.
Yes.
And he's still going like, oh, no, but what if I'm like a good one though?
Yeah. Well, that's he's a kid. He doesn't know any better. You probably should have like prepared him more for the consequences of him taking on that role. This is definitely they're gonna play around with a lot of like time travel stuff. Like I feel like Terminator, Back to the Future stuff. It's gonna be interesting to see which form of time travel storyline they're gonna do.
Yeah, like I know we're gonna get. The Forza episode, which I'm really excited about. I know we're going to get a Kamen Rider 5's episode. They got those two guys. They got a couple of writers from that show back. So we will see how they play with their time travel, especially because some of the points, like, listen, some of the actors have actually aged. So
depending on how far back they're going to go, you're going to have the benefit of Japanese people, keeping their look for a certain amount of years. I mean, look at the Pink Ranger from the Zoo Ranger show, from the the Mighty Morphin.
No. She
looks great.
She looks great. No, it's true. No, there's
great.
some writers. Hell, I'll even say Hiroshi Fujioka, who was the very first Kamen Rider who played Hongo. Like, still somehow is fighting age with 2 fists and all the kicks because he doesn't look like he's 71. He looks like he's 50. I don't know how he's fighting those 20 years of his looks, but he looks like he's 50, as opposed to his secondary rider, or the second rider who was looking like he's 90 and
like
he's
gonna go.
So so it's and I'm seeing like I know, like I said, I mentioned the Kamen Rider 5's cast. Some of them, they will come back and they look pretty good. Yeah. So and that show's already. Like a decade ago. Yeah.
So you're saying the general consensus is that we're a little underwhelmed by this pilot episode.
I think, isn't that, I mean, that's funny, right? I agree,
We would definitely like to hear what you guys thought about the first episode of Kamen Rider Zi-O. But I was definitely underwhelmed.
I'm actually really relieved to say that, so was I. It's weird that I'm relieved because I feel like, oh, is this going to...
Yeah.
Are you
underwhelmed but not thrown off by the series? I see potential. I see potential for it to be a good series.
Yeah.
It's just for a pilot episode, it didn't really pique my interest right away.
I've seen a lot of shows in which the first episode's really blown me away, or I feel like I can see potential and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. But this is an episode where I'm like, I'm split. I can see what really right away doesn't connect with me, and right away like Sougo doesn't connect with me. But
we might connect to a different character on the show.
Yeah, it's true, exactly. And then
there seems to be they just threw in a bunch of characters.
They really did. It's like, here you go.
Here, you already have like seven characters' names that you have to remember. Have fun, guys.
Let's see here. Toku, in terms of 1 out of 5s. I'm gonna start that joke. Toku Kid gives the episode 4 out of 5. Batranger gives it a 4 out of 5. Layla,
Blackwing 4 out of 5.
Layla gives
2.5 out of 5.
She was not happy.
Yeah. Anthony Davis 3 out of 5.
Mm-hmm. And Crab Stomp 3 out of 5.
So
hey, that's a good question. I just want to ask you this right now. Theme song, opening credits. How do you feel about them?
It was all right. It's very. I mean, like if I hear it a few times, it might get catchy. But I do like the Be the One.
It's hard to miss.
Yeah.
Well, I will admit, Be the One was a warmer for me. I wasn't sure about the when I first heard it. I went, okay, but I love the song now.
No, sorry.
They really are into the EDM style opening theme songs now. They're really into that nowadays.
But I do like the background. Oh, I didn't even notice. Nagami, props to you. Our background for the show is Kamen Rider Zi-O stuff.
It's their version of the Doctor Who time tunnel.
That's awesome.
That's
look at that. We're going through time.
Whoa.
Well, you guys, thank you for watching. Justin, thank you for giving me all this information. I want in the next few episodes, I kind of want to dive into the Kamen Rider formula.
Yeah.
And see if it's gonna play out in this series.
I'm excited to see what they do and what they try to accomplish. You know, maybe the show's gonna be like Gokaiger, where they will, which is the plan, right? Maybe the show will be like Gokaiger, and they'll actually do a really good job of giving you a little bit of what that old show was by giving you something new.
Yeah.
And again, folks, we always would love to give the input to inform us if we're kind of lost on something, because trust me, you know more than me at times.
This is the perfect way to use our Facebook group.
Absolutely.
THS hashtaggers. You guys, especially if you've been watching Kamen Rider for a long time, it'd be great to have a little background on some of these characters. Start a thread. Tag me in it. Tag Justin. Tag Johnny. And we'll start following the thread, and it'll probably help us. It'll definitely help us. So you guys, please just if you know a lot of people that like the same stuff as you, hit up THS hashtaggers. Also, stick around. We're gonna be doing our Spotlight series. You did it with you.
I was the first.
How did you? How was the?
I had a good time.
You had a good time.
I had a good time. So
you think I'm gonna have a good time?
I think you'll have a great time.
So stick around, you guys. I am. If you guys don't know, Joe he interviews people that's his job.
It's his job, and I was really nervous about that.
And the celebrities and guests that he interviews, they're mentally prepared to dive and miss some of these hard-hitting questions. I am not. I do not have that experience. So if you guys want to see me cringe, you want to see me kind of look super uncomfortable with some of the questions I'm going to get asked, please tune in to Spotlight.
I so can't wait for
definitely.
This. You can find, where do you find you on social media?
You can find me on all social media at Jezzer Zeus. It's here we go. Where can we find you, Justin?
You can find me on Instagram at Justin Quiz, Twitter at Justin Keyson.
A little more energy, come on.
Okay, you can find me on Instagram at Justin Quiz, Twitter at Justin Keyson, and I just recorded my final episode of my podcast. Ben Beyond Spielberg.
Can we get a soundboard, the crowd soundboard where we hit the
me and Emily, my co-host, just recorded our final episode. It should be up around the 15th or 16th.
Yes.
And we will. But I will. If I haven't mentioned it here, I will mention it now. Next year we will do a new show, and I will definitely announce when we release it. But the new podcast will be about Godzilla.
Oh, Whoa!
We are going to do a Godzilla podcast.
Is that about the same time that the new film's going to come out?
It might work out, maybe. But we are planning to watch every single Godzilla film, and we haven't quite decided if we're going to do Japanese only or American or both. But our next show will be about Godzilla. Until then, I still have Nothing New Remake Podcast.
Yes.
Our next episode we're going to be recording will be on Papillon. Yeah, I know. No one will know, so that no one will probably download it.
Okay, cool. I don't know what that is, but whatever.
But also Shining Yusha, of course.
Shining Yusha.
Thank you. Is available for free on Tumblr.
I did read that on Tumblr. I do enjoy it.
Thank you.
I do enjoy it. So you guys, it's free, you guys.
It's free.
It's free. Just check it out. And Tumblr that's a great platform to release something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Thank you so much. I can't say Hard Smash now because that show's over.
Yeah.
So I don't.
We'll figure out something.
Listen, just like the button.
We just have to. We have to see. We have to see a few episodes of Kamen Rider Zi-O.
And then I'll make another bad pun.
Yeah, there you go.
Until then.
Yeah. Well, you guys, thank you for watching Henshin Hangout. Thanks for sticking around.
Thanks for all the super chats.
Yeah, and remember, join THS hashtaggers. Give us a little input when we go into the next episode. Always remember, be sure to like, comment, subscribe to keep up to date with everything trending
in geek pop culture.
Woo-hoo. Bye, guys.
Bye.